In our conferences last week, I had a lot of parents talk about how they felt like they needed some extra resources to help their children with their reading fluency and their reading comprehension. When we talk about reading fluency, that's talking about how students read words and sentences, how fluent they are. Can they sound out the words when they're reading sentences? Are they just reading monotone? Are they intoning their voice? Are they pausing at the punctuation? And things of that nature. When we talk about reading comprehension, that's really the issue of our students understanding what they're reading. Can they tell you about what they read? Can they identify the main idea or the theme of a text? Can they answer questions about it? Those are two really important areas, especially in third grade. And so I wanted to provide a resource for students to use for that. And the one I have found that I feel is the most helpful is Raz-Kids.com. Now, I sent home today in the students' agendas some parent information and login information for Raz-Kids.com. And students' assignments for this week was just to go on the website and log in one time and look around a little bit so that I can make sure that everybody's able to get on there. So when students log in, this is what they're going to see. We got our nice little spinny planet here for your assignments. Down here we have some other things like the robot builder or the Raz rocket. Those are all fun things, but this right here is really the most important thing. So when your student logs in, they can click on your assignment, and what that does is it takes them to kind of like a library of different fiction and nonfiction books that are all on their current levels that I have them at in class. Now these levels are based on the running records we do in class. You know, they're not all completely perfect. Some books are going to be, for that level, might be a little easier than they prefer or a little harder, but it's a general range. So what they can do is they have all these great books to choose from now, and these get switched out periodically, so there's always new things on here. So underneath each book you're going to notice some symbols. If you click on the symbol with the ear, this is actually a great tool to help students who struggle with fluency because it shows the book. It's kind of like an online book, but it also highlights each word, and an author reads the entire book to the students. So if you were looking at this on your computer, as these words are highlighted in red, the computer is actually reading this to you. So for example, a student who might, maybe we talked about how your child needs to work a little bit more on their fluency. It'd be a great idea to have them, have this part of the text read to them. Then they can simply push pause down here, and then they can read out loud that section themselves because they've just heard it read, and they can picture, okay, this is how you say all these words, this is how the author paused at these periods, so now I'm going to practice that. Or even reading along to themselves as the author is reading it out loud can be a great resource. Now, if that's not something that your child is struggling with, or they want to focus on their comprehension, you can go down here and click on the book with the eye on it. And it's the exact same book, but now you can simply read through it, and it won't highlight the text for you, and it won't read it out loud to you. Now, a really cool thing that you can do is right up here where it says record. Students can actually use this to record themselves reading the book out loud, and then when they're done, come over here and send it to me so that I can hear it and kind of track their progress that way as well. Once they've completed reading a book, they can go to the little question mark, and it won't light up until they've read the entire book. But once they do, they can click on that to take a short quiz on the book, and that can help with their reading comprehension to get them into that practice of reading a text, knowing that there's questions coming up, and then practicing answering questions about a text. Now, as they do all these things, they'll be progressing through this level, and their levels will move up or down according to their needs, and they'll be getting new books and harder levels or more appropriate levels as they go. And of course, I can log on then and see their progress as they work through this as well. For this week, like I said, their only assignment is to go on here and look around just at least once. If they love it and they want to start using this as their reading homework every night this week, that's totally fine. If they just want to use it a couple times this week, that's fine as well. Like I said, this week we're just kind of getting used to this, but we are going to be starting to incorporate this type of resource more, where students are being more and more accountable for their reading as the year goes on. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to shoot me an email or comment on this video. Thanks.